K2 still going to push on for that, hopefully try go for a medal, because we've been up there in the World Cups, sitting in like the top 5 positions, so hopefully push on it and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's such a strong program, the British canoeing program now. There's so much depth there. You guys are just amazing that you brought such a big team out here, and then you're going to have a whole new team in Szeged in a couple of weeks. It must be great to be part of that program.
Yeah, no, it is really good. I've never seen the team this big before. Like, I've come from junior, and that's when about 3 years ago we were only sending about 8 athletes out at World Champs, and now we've pretty much got the whole team filled, and it's really good to see so many young guys coming through and pushing it on at this higher level.
So this will be the first medal event of the day. It's the K4 Junior Men's 500 metre race, and the defending champions are the Czech Republic, but it's a completely new crew this year to the one that won gold last year. They'll be racing in lane 1, Slovakia lane 2, Ukraine lane 3, the Germans lane 4, the Hungarians on their outside in lane 5, then the Portuguese in lane 6, Russia in lane 7, 8. Lane 8 is Spain and lane 9 is Poland. Now, Germany, Hungary and Portugal both qualified direct. There's the strong German crew. They went straight into the final alongside the Hungarians and the Portuguese. You would have paddled against a few of these guys, I'm sure, at times. Trev, what do you make of this final field?
I'd say the German and the Hungarian boat was looking very strong in their heat, definitely. Nice long separation in their strokes, big powerful lads. The Russian boys wouldn't say they're out there as well, to be fair. Watch their race.
I think the Russians won silver at the Euros, and it's the same crew that won that silver medal at the European under 23. So
yeah, so they'll be wanting to push it on as well. I find at World Champs that it's always unpredictable to see what happens from Euros and Worlds. Some people pick it up, crews get changed, so it'd be interesting to see.
Well, interestingly, this German crew is completely different to the one they had at the Euros.
Is it? Right.
Shows how much depth they've got in Germany as well.
Exactly.
That they can just bring out a total new 4 and be one of the favourites. Portuguese always strong in crew boats. They've really, over the last couple of years, their program has really picked up, and having their senior world championships there last year, I think, was a great benefit for Portugal. So, K4 500 junior paddlers, we're watching Trev lanes 4, 5 and 6 as the fastest qualifiers, and Russia in lane 7. Will they take it out hard? What's it like out there today?
So nice. It looks like it's gone to a headwind almost, I'd say. Maybe
So
the wind's
they're
switched around.
So they're off and racing in the 500, and that is your crew from Hungary outside Portugal. And it looks like the Russians have gone out pretty hard, but it's in the middle of the course at the moment. It's the middle 3. In fact, Ukraine up there as well, very early on in the race, of course, and you'd be careful not to burn out too quickly, but Ukraine up there early on, so we'll wait and get a look across the field in just a moment. Ukraine in the yellow boat, alongside them it's Germany.
Germans' rate looking a bit high there compared to the others.
How are they looking, Trev? They're looking very strong at the moment, aren't they, the Germans? They've got a nice little lead now, Germany, over Ukraine, with Hungary and Russia 3rd and 4th at the halfway stage. So they're focusing on the Hungarians at the moment, but they've got their work cut out. Wow, look at that.
It's a massive lead there, isn't it? See if they can maintain it all the way through.
I think it's a race for silver at the moment in this event, because the Germans, just like their senior counterparts in K4, they are unbeatable at a senior level. And look at this. This is
pulling away.
And coming through are the Russians. So the Russians look like they are in the race for silver, but I think the Germans are going to hold on. Yes, they hold on quite comfortably in the end. The race is on for silver. It could well be Ukraine or
maybe say Russia.
Maybe Russia, Hungary and Ukraine all crossing the line almost together, but absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah, definitely win over there for the Germans.
Tom Mason at the front of the boat did the 1,000 the other day and was pretty strong in the 1,000. So a good man to have. I mean, interestingly, for the 500 now, a lot of the countries, and Germany's one of them, they really mix it up. They have 2 sprinters and 2 distance paddlers in the boat together, and I think it's a great combination. It works really well for them.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the Russians might have got the silver, but we'll just wait for confirmation. But Germany with Tom Mason, Moritz Flotsted, Jochen Wien and Jack Grease. That is your 4 from Germany. And that means that they move up alongside Hungary now on the medal table. Interestingly, Germany ahead of Hungary and Ukraine. Well, I thought Russia got up, but obviously...
maybe not.
Maybe, well, no, they didn't. So Hungary, silver, Ukraine, the bronze, and Russia pick up the bronze medals. Fourth place. So that's your top four. Germany take the first medal of the day, having had a bit of a drought yesterday. It would have been a hard day for the Germans. They don't go many days in international competition without picking up a gold medal somewhere along the line.
Yeah, definitely. They're one of the biggest nations out there. Definitely always on the podium. I think that German guy would be very happy with that, because I did watch his 1,000-metre race, and I think he might have just raced it a bit, because he was up there.
Yeah.
But I think he'd definitely be happy with that to come away for gold.
Yeah. It looks like he's got plenty to say anyway to somebody. So congratulations, Germany. First gold medal of the day. So let's look ahead to the next race. The next race is the C2 junior women over 500. Oh, sorry, it's the K1 junior women. Let's just check that out. I'll just get the orders right here. What have you got down for the
C2 women there?
Okay, let's go with that then. The C2 junior women final over 500 metres. Which will see the Canadians. No, it is the K1 Junior 500. So sorry, we'll go back there. We've just got the wrong order given to us here. Let's sort that out in just a moment. But the K1 Junior Women will be the next race over 500 metres. And in that race, well, Veronika Leonuk from Belarus is the standout in this event. She is the gold medalist in the 200 already here. She's a European gold medalist over 500, so she will start as the favourite, no doubt about that. From Belarus, Veronika Leonuk. Others to watch out for: Ivana Dyachenko from Ukraine, a bronze medalist at the Europeans. Adriana Kakol from Poland, fourth at the Europeans, and Carla Ferrero from Spain. She was fourth in this event last year, so she's 1 year older and obviously a bit more mature in her paddling, so she will be one to watch as well. So it's the K1. Have you found the field there, Trev?
I've got it here.
Yeah,
We've
good
got
man.
our own Zoe Clark in lane 9.
Yes, you have. You've got a
She's
British.
really pushed it on this year. Good to see her up there. I think she's also got an A final later in her K2 500, Enya Dale.
Many of your team from here, under 23s and juniors, are many going on to Szeged for the seniors?
Not that I know of. I think it might just be me. Maybe. No, I don't think any of the canoe guys are. I think it's just literally me going out. Most of the guys are already out on camp training in Plovdiv at the moment. So most of the team are out there already working hard.
So there you have the official lineup. It is Veronika Leonuk in lane 1, who I think possibly will start favourite, just on the strength of her European gold medal and her gold in the 200. But being in lane 1 would suggest that maybe she didn't have as great a qualification as she might have liked. So maybe that might open up the door for the Spaniard Carla Ferrero in 4th last year. There's Leonuk. Dyachenko from Ukraine, the bronze from the Europeans. So quite an even race. There's Ferrero. I think one of the only ones in this field who was racing last year. So we have Sarah Nave from Canada. So lane 1 is Belarus, lane 2 Romania, lane 3 Canada, lane 4 Poland, lane 5 Spain, lane 6 Hungary. We haven't mentioned Emis Kohami. She's a very, very good marathon paddler. So be interested to see how she goes over the 500 metres. We've got Ukraine in lane 7, Serbia in lane 8, and Zoe Clark from Great Britain in lane 9. This is the K1 Junior Women's 500 metres. Are you willing to make a prediction on this one, Trev? You don't have to, man. I put poor old Arthur on the spot a couple of times yesterday and put his credibility on the line, but...
We'll see from lane 1, the Belarusian. It is hard always racing on the outside,
yeah.
But if she just goes with her own race plan, she might be able to pull it off. Anything can happen, really.
I suppose it's different courses have different strengths and weaknesses. What is this course like if you are in an outside lane? Is there a preference amongst the paddlers for what lanes they want to be in here?
I think this course is pretty neutral across every lane. I think majority of people like being in the middle just so you can see more people around you, what the race is doing, how the race is being controlled, when to do your pickups, should you be going a bit harder at the start, maybe reserve a bit, wait for the end. So that's really, I'd say this course is pretty much neutral. There's no advantage being in any lane. The water's quite cold here, quite heavy, so it does make it a bit slower. I've not seen any super quick times out this weekend yet.
Where you do see a big difference is some of the courses, and Szeged is one of them, that has big grandstands. And sometimes, depending which way the wind is going, there can be a real advantage. I remember it was a couple of years ago, maybe in Szeged, where lane 9 and lane 8 were the lanes to be in, and people were just storming down, and all the finals have been won by athletes who were coming in lane 9 and lane 8. It was quite bizarre.
Yeah, I've heard about that. One of our athletes made a whole table chally chart about it, and worked out that it was over in lane 9, 8 that most of the winds are coming from.
So there's Kohami from Hungary. Kohami is the marathon paddler. So we are close to a start here. K1 Junior 500. White flag goes up. Means they are close to getting underway. Keep your eye on lane 1. Keep your eye on lane 5 from Spain, Ferrero.
And they're off.
Off and racing, and it looks like a pretty even start, although lane 2 from Romania, she's dropped back very quickly, so I'm not sure what happened with her at the start, but the rest of the field looked like they got away pretty evenly. It's the Canadian in lane 3, Sarah Nagy. It is the Belarusian, though, who's gone out hard early, and in the middle of the course in lane 6, it is the Hungarian Kohami. So Kohami leading from maybe Dyachenko from Ukraine alongside her in lane 7. The Romanian now just trying to tack herself back onto the field. She had a terrible start. Not sure what happened there. But heading down towards the halfway stage, and it may well be the Hungarian, Emes Kohami, who is leading. There's the Belarusian, Leonuk, already won gold medal here this week. But out there in lane 1, it's a bit of a lonely existence out there, isn't it, Trev?
Yeah, it is. She is looking strong, though, powering through.
It's the Hungarian, though, who's the one to catch, Emes Kohami, leading from the paddler Dyachenko from Ukraine, and from Belarus, Leonuk across in lane 1. Now, who has got the strongest finish? Leonuk's gold medal came in the 200, so she's maybe finding the last couple of 100 metres a bit tougher. Nothing stopping the girl from Hungary, though, Emes Kohami. She's racing on later today, I think, in a K2 event as well, so she'll want to keep a little bit of petrol in the tank. If she looks around her now, she'll realise she can take her foot right off the pedal. Nice stroke.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say she's taking her foot off the pedal. I think she's giving it more, if so.
Yes.
Definitely taking it out there.
A little bit of that marathon training coming into force for her now as she powers down towards the line. So Hungary will pick up the second gold medal of the day and do it. Oh, although, no, she's safe.
Oh, she's definitely up there.
There's the athlete over in Belarus who I think will take the silver.
I think it might be the Ukraine battling for third with Spain.
I think it is just on the inside. I think it may well be Spain who got the bronze, Trev, but your eyes are a lot younger than mine, so I'll take your call on that. But
no, I think it was definitely Spain. She was just fighting it out there.
Look at that emotion. That means a lot, obviously, to this young girl. It's good to see, isn't it? That,
I love moments like that. That's what the sport's about.
Yeah, she really took it out hard and held on, and it was a pretty convincing result in the end for Emes Kohami from Hungary. So she puts Hungary's nose in front again of the Germans. What a battle this is turning out to be. This is an interesting sidelight to the final day's activities. Who will finish on top of the gold medal tally. Germany took the first gold of the day to make it 5-all. Now Hungary slips ahead again, courtesy of Emes Kolhami. What a great gold medal for her in the K1 Junior Women's. Waiting for confirmation, but I think on the inside lane 1, Veronika Leonuk from Belarus took the silver. And it was the Spaniard, Carla Ferrero, who finished with the bronze just ahead of Ivana Dyachenko from Ukraine. Now I think we're up to the C2 Junior Women's 500, which is due to get underway in around 5 minutes from now. Trev just takes a break to update his Instagram feed. See how many new followers he's got now. He's raking them in after his appearance yesterday, courtesy, Arthur, of you and I, not realising that the mic was on.
Well, he certainly got lucky there.
Did he buy you a hot chocolate or something last night to thank you? Or?
No, I think he owes me one tonight, though.
Ah, good. Good man. Great to have you back in the seat with us, Arthur. Arthur Leach, a member of he is a C1 1000 metre paddler with the Team GB. This is our first canoe event of the day, Arthur. It's the C2 Junior Women, 500 metres, and we're watching in particular lane 5, Sophia Jensen and Julia Osendi, the defending champions from last year. Sophia Jensen going for her 3rd gold medal of the weekend, the same as she did last year, but she's not going to have it her own way because the Chinese pair on her inside, who, by the way, finished 2nd to her last year, her and Osendi, they were in good form yesterday.
Absolutely, the Chinese will definitely be one to watch. They looked very strong yesterday in their 200 metres, so let's hope they can transfer that up to the longer distance, and we should have a good race on our hands.
I think it'll be a great race. The other boats to watch, well, obviously the Hungarians, always formidable, but also the team from Belarus. They are the European champions. They'll be in lane 7, that is Canoe and Prokalska. Anyone else there that we should be watching out for?
No, I think it should be between those middle lanes. Interesting to note, the Hungarians got a very young boat out here. They're both just 16 years old, so very impressive to make an A final at that young age. They've obviously got a few more years racing in the junior categories, which should be great to see. Obviously, it's in safe hands in Hungary.
Yeah, of course.
Those Belarusians. Most of the other athletes out here will be 17 or 18 in this race, so great to see some young talent coming through from Hungary, as always.
Laura Gonsol, who's in that boat, was at the Youth Olympic Games last year, in fact. So lane 1 is Poland, lane 2 Kazakhstan, lane 3 Russia, lane 4 Q Lee and Wei Li from China, lane 5 Sophia Jensen and Julia Osendi from Canada, the defending world junior champions, lane 6 Hungary, lane 7 Kalua and Progotska from Belarus, the European champions, lane 8 Uzbekistan, and lane 9 Ukraine.
Yeah, and over this longer distance, you're really going to look for some slightly longer strokes coming out and then settling into it, sticking to a race plan, and it should all come together in that last 100 metres.
That is the crew in lane 7 from Belarus. Maybe they will be up there challenging for a medal. You would think that it could be the Canadians, the Chinese and the Belarusians, with the Hungarians really the unknown quantity because they are so young, as Arthur just said. So we'll see what they bring to the table. But at this stage, keep your eye on the Canadians. They are the defending champions, and we are looking for... I mean, it's a big effort, isn't it, to come and win 3 gold medals in 1 year, but then to back up and do it the next year.
Absolutely. I mean, clearly an incredible athlete there from the Canadians. It should be a good race to watch down there. Lane 5, they've definitely got some competition this year, though. It shouldn't go all their own way. So
the Chinese were pretty impressive yesterday in the C2 200. So let's see if they can transfer that into a 500 metre race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not the easiest thing. There's a slightly different. There's a slight difference in technique from the 200 to the 500. You want some longer strokes, a bit more rhythm on the boat, keeping it running nicely, and then finding that big pickup to hit it hard towards the finish. But it's not impossible by any means that they come through a medal again.
The Canadian, the strength in the Canadian women's program, it is a reflection of the time and effort that they put into that program long before the rest of the world caught up with them, and as a result, they have some of the most outstanding female canoe paddlers on the planet, and we'll see that next year, I'm sure, in the Tokyo Olympics, that reflected with Lawrence Vincent-Lepont, who is just an incredible talent and could pick up 2 gold medals next year. Katie Vincent, we're seeing with Sophia Jensen and Julia Osendi. We're hearing that there are other juniors who are knocking on the door who are also very good. It's a good canoe program.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem to have a lot of strength and depth over there, which is great to see. It's good to see countries really engaging with the new Olympic event of women's.
So we're underway in the C2 Junior Women's 500-metre final. That is the crew from Canada. They are the favourites. Sophia Jensen in the front of the boat, Julia Ascendi behind her. Watch on their outside, on their inside for the Chinese, and keep an eye on the crew from Belarus and Hungary as well. But at this stage, looks like it's look at that.
Rates in the middle. The Chinese are really driving on, but the Canadians look to have a nice long rhythm going on. They're really pushing through now. They should be finding their rhythm in the boat and just running it down the course, sticking to their race plan.
Is it good for the Chinese to have the favourites on their outside?
Well, it certainly helps to be right in the thick of it. It should all come together in that last 100 metres, and we can see how tight the finish is.
Yep, so we're heading down towards the midway part of the race, and it certainly at this stage looks like it is Canada and China who are out at the moment. They're going to have a bit of a battle going on here. The Canadians at this stage have about a half boat length over the Chinese. Good fight for third going on in the background, but it is a race in 2 at the front. Do the Chinese have anything in the tank, though? They are 200-metre gold medalists. Does that mean that they can go well over 500? We're about to find out.
See them coming through the 200-metre start line now, so they're just driving onto the finish line. The Canadians seem to be holding that advantage and really pressing it home now. They're picking it up towards the finish, and those Hungarians are coming through quite strongly for the bronze medal. They might just be able to pip the Chinese. We'll see what happens.
This is an impressive paddle again from these Canadians. They won it last year. They're a year older this year. Sophia Jensen's so much more mature this year than she was last year. She was like a rabbit caught in the headlights last year, but this year it's just...
Absolutely, there's such a good finish coming through from, that's lane 6, the Hungarian.
The Hungarians coming over the top of the Chinese, as we thought might happen with the Chinese being 200-metre specialists, but nothing stopping the Canadians.
Coming in, it's going to be tight on the line for that silver and bronze medal position, I think.
Looks like the Chinese are fighting back now, but the Canadians, that is a very...
That's an impressive
strong win, and the Hungarians will get silver.
Yeah, that was an impressive finish. Last 100 metres from the Hungarians, really strong, great pick-up and pushing it onto the line.
Good finish from a couple of 16-year-olds.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a boat to watch in the future, I think. That was an impressive race.
But well done to these 2 young ladies, Sophia and Julia from Canada, defending the gold medal they won last year and giving Sophia Jensen just quite a remarkable record here. She's paddled in 6 races as a junior at the World Championships, and she's won a gold medal in every single one of them, which is...
That's such an impressive record there. You can just see the class from the Canadians driving it on, leading pretty much from start to finish.
Yeah, fantastic, and what a future this young lady has. I mentioned the other day to their team leader, if she was paddling for any other country in the world, Sophia Jensen, she'd probably be going to Tokyo next year.
Oh, absolutely. That's just testament to how strong their program is that she probably won't be. Yeah, definitely. Women's canoe in Canada is a program to watch out for.
There is confirmation. 204.6 for Sophia Jensen and Julia Osendi. Gold medal for Canada. The Hungarians, Laura Gonsol and Rika Opavsky, take the silver. And the Chinese, they were always going to struggle over the longer distance. They held on well, though, but the Hungarians just coming over the top purely.
You could see the Chinese really strong out the starting blocks, staying up there with the Canadians for the first 250, just fading a little bit towards the line as the Hungarians came through very strong into the finish to pick up that silver medal. It was an impressive race.
So I think we're having a medal presentation. The next race is not due to get underway for 10 minutes, so I think we have a race at 5 minutes past the hour. Wherever you are watching at the moment, 5 minutes past the hour, which is around 10 minutes from now. It'll be the K1 Under-23 Women's 500. But we'll take a pause for now and take you down for the medal presentation. I believe it'll be for the first event of the day, the K4 Junior Men's 500.
vicepreședinte al Federației Internaționale de Canoe, însoțit de conducătorul echipei germane.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by the Vice President of the International Canoe Federation, Mr. Thomas Koniecko, accompanied by the team leader from Germany.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Alexandru Zarubin, Oleg Petrov, Anton Zotivic și Yuri Zub, Ucraina.
The bronze medal goes to Ukraine. Alexander Zavur, Oleg Petrov, Anton Zosyuk, Yuri Zub.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Marc Opavski, Zobor Tamasi, Maximilian Zendi și Benz Vaida. Ungaria.
The silver medal, Hungary. Mark Opavski, Zobor Tamasi, Maximilian Zendi, Benz Vaida.
Medalie de aur și campioni mondiali la această probă, Tom Massen, Moritz Florastad, Joachim Wien și Jack Gris, Germania.
The gold medal and the title of world champions, Germany. Tom Massen, Moritz Florstad, Johann Wien, Jack Gris.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare, urmează intonarea imnului Germaniei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Germany's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you.
Congratulations to the boys from Germany enjoying that gold medal. First one awarded for today. And nice for Germany to get back on the top of the podium after a very lean day yesterday. I think they picked up one silver medal for the entire day, which is pretty well unheard of in German canoe sprint paddling. So at the moment, just to bring you up to speed with the overall standings, Hungary now has 6 gold medals and Germany has 5 gold medals. And I think in total, Hungary has 14 and Germany has 13. But the gold medal, there's Boney M again. Had them yesterday, they're back again today. Great to have them here at the 2019 ICF Junior and Under-23 Canoe Sprint World Championships. We are about to have the final of the K1 Under-23 Women's 500. This is, of course, an Olympic event and a really good, strong field. Trevor Thompson is here from the Team GB. And Trevor, you've got a paddler in here, of course, Emma Russell in lane 9.
Yeah, so last year she was our big junior world champion out in Plovdiv. Is that those right?
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Yeah,
She won last year. So it's good to see her make it into the A final here. I think she was just short at Euros being in the B final. So it's good to see that she's brought it back, gone home, done the training, come out here to do that, yeah.
We were talking yesterday about the step up, and you've done it from junior to under-23. That first year after you leave junior and going to under-23, it's a big difference, isn't it?
It is a massive difference. Sometimes it can take a while before you finally get there. Emma's proved that it just takes her 1 year to get there and she's back up there. For me, it takes a bit longer. Some athletes can just do it. I know there's a lot of athletes who've gone from junior straight into the senior program. So, yeah, it's really just up to the athlete, really.
Have you got, any more years in under-23, or are you finished now?
Yeah, so I've still got 2 more years, only
God
21
blimey.
now, yeah.
That bloke was right yesterday when he said you're a big boy then. Okay, so let's have a look at the field. In lane 1 you have Ukraine, lane 2 Russia, lane 3 Denmark, lane 4 Belarus, lane 5 Hungary, lane 6 Poland, lane 7 Germany, lane 8 South Africa, Donna Hutton from South Africa and Emma Russell from Great Britain in lane 9. So the athletes to watch, well, Naomi Pup from Hungary was incredibly disappointed when she finished with silver in the 1,000. She was pipped by the German Hake, and I think afterwards was a little bit disappointed that she couldn't get up and win the gold there. So she'll be out to prove a point here. The other athletes to watch, Ina Soychuk from Belarus. She is the European gold medalist, so keep an eye on her in lane 4. Bolet Iverson won bronze in the 200 yesterday. And Małgorzata Palacka from Poland won silver in the Europeans, finished 4th in this race last year, so you would expect a little bit of improvement this year from Palacka from Poland. So they are possibly some of the athletes to watch. Of course, Julia Hergart from Germany. She'll be lining up a little bit later on today in the K2. But what do you think, Trev, of this field? Anyone in particular has caught your eye?
I have to go with the Belarusian, I think. I've seen her paddle as well in a semi and a heat, and she's really dominant out there. Apart from that, just always go for the Hungarian, the German, the Polish. They're always really strong.
Yep.
Wouldn't count out the Dane either. It's a really strong field, to be fair.
Yeah.
South African in there. That's really good to see. There's usually quite a small South African team out here, and it's really good to see that they're up there in the A final.
Yes, good to have representatives from across the world competing here. So lane 4 is Soychuk. She is the European champion, which is good form to bring into this event, isn't it? Because you are racing practically against just about all the best in the world at the Europeans.
Yeah, pretty much. There's literally out of here, we just got literally South Africa that's not in.
Yep. But don't discount the German in lane 7, Hergert. The Pole in lane 6, Polacka. And of course, Pup in Hungary. She has a point to prove. And look at that, she looks pretty focused heading into the start line. They'll all be watching the girl in lane 4, though, Ina Soychuk, who is a very useful paddler. This is the K1 Under-23 Women's 500. They're off and racing, and it looked like a pretty even start, Trev.
Yeah, I'd say maybe the pole the German didn't quite have the best start out there.
So there's Naomi Pup there. She is paddling nice and strong, the girl from Ukraine. Let's get across the field now. We can have a look and see how they're tracking. And it is It looks like it is the Hungarian pup who has gone out the strongest over the first 50 or so metres. So she is putting down the gauntlet here to the rest of the field. Naomi Pup, very determined to get onto the top of that podium. Who is going to go with her? We're waiting now. Hungary in front. Naomi Pup, already a silver medalist here at these World Championships. How's her stroke looking, Trevor?
See, she's breathing hard there. Probably want to be taking it up around here, come through the halfway.
Now we're seeing a little bit of a shuffle around now. It's the Pole who's coming up. It's Polacka, who looks like she's starting to put together some pretty decent yards. So it's Polacka who's pipped Pup at the halfway stage, and Soychuk is sitting in third. It's pretty tight though. There is nothing in this race. We're heading down towards the finish, and it's once again it's the Hungarian and the Pole who are fighting this out. Soychuk is falling away a little bit. She has some work in front of her. It's the Hungarian though. Look how determined she is, Trevor. She is really putting in the hard strokes towards the line, Naomi Pup.
Yeah, pulling away there. I think the Polish girl might just be able to hang in there from the Belarusian, but we'll see. Anything to play for.
I don't think Pup's going to let this one slip out of her fingers. Pup has 1 foot on the top of the podium at this stage. Naomi Pup from Hungary. She's going to give Hungary their second gold medal for the day, I think. It is Pup. The Polish girl is falling right off, so she has obviously spent a lot of petrol early on in the race, because it looks like it's Iversen from Denmark who might get through. Oh no, she picks up again. That angle's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I think it was the Dane that came through there for third, and then the Polish girl in second.
Yeah, so the Pole held on for second, and the Dane got third, so Soychuk missed out on a medal altogether. But look at this. This is a bit of relief for Naomi Pup. A bit of redemption after her disappointment from earlier on in the competition. She's now gone out there. She was never going to let that get away from her. That can, I suppose, that can really, Trevor, if you have the fortune to have a couple of races at an event like this, if you have a disappointment earlier on, that can just really, I suppose, spur you on and maybe take you to heights that you've never been to before in your other races.
Yeah, definitely. I had that through my semi, bad race, and then it really pushed me on for my final. So I guess that's probably gone on there for her as well, from that 1,000 to the 500 here.
There is your K1 under 23 women's 500 metre gold medalist. What a race this has been for Hungary over so many years at all levels. They really have made it their race. And at an Olympic level, World Championship level, we're going to see the Hungarians will be pretty. Danuta Kazaka, of course, I mean, there is no better paddler than her over 500 metres. And she will be a red-hot favourite, I'm sure, when we rock up in Szeged in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how dominant she's been for so long in the sport.
Congratulations, though, to Naomi Pup on her gold medal in the K1 under 23 women's 500. She takes the gold ahead of Poland's Polacka, who paddled a pretty decent race. She challenged for a little while, but just didn't have the strength to go with Pup for the entire race. For the first 500, for the first 250, she was quite competitive, but not able to stick with her over the last parts of the race.
Yeah, she still managed to hold the boat speed though. Still managed to keep in front of the Dane and the Belarusian in the fourth.
Peste aproximativ 20 de minute o să avem parte de următoarea festivitate de premieră în cadrul probei de canoe dublu junioară fete 500 de metri.
In about 20 minutes, there will be the next medal ceremony.
So we're now looking ahead to one of the highlights of today. It is the K4 under 23 men's 500. There's something special, isn't there, Trevor, about the team boats, about I know, you know, people who are part of a team boat talk about how special it is, but it's also special to watch. You've been doing the two, of course. Have you done a bit of K4 work?
Yeah, so I've raced this a lot of this crew last year in the K4 500 and then the 23 Worlds, and there's some big names in here. I mean, the Danish boys, they won the B final last year, now pushed into the A final. We've got the Australians. I mean, the Australians are just amazing at this event. I've watched their heat; they're just absolutely dominating at the moment. And then you've also got the Hungarians, the Portuguese, the Serbs, the Ukraine. Literally all of the names out here, all good athletes that I've raced before. and all been pushing in the A final.
Interestingly, the gold, silver and bronze medalists from the European under-23s, Belarus, Slovakia and Russia, none of them are here.
Yeah.
Why would that be, do you think? What's going on there, Trevor?
That's just 500-meter racing for you. I think literally every race is different, and in 500 it shows it the most. I think a couple of these boats weren't here at Euros. I know the Danish lads weren't there at Euros. I know they were actually, but the crews always change.
Yeah.
So it could be different crew names in.
So logic tells you that the Australians should be favourite, just on the strength of, if you look at their crew there, they've got Tom Green, who won the gold in the K1 1000. You've got Jackson Collins and John van der Westhausen, the former South African, who won silver in the K2 1000. So that's not a bad start. And then the next bloke you throw into the boat with them is a guy called Riley Fitzsimmons, who was at the 2016 Olympics as part of the Australian K4. He's even though he's still racing at under 23, he is incredibly experienced. He's won gold medals at this level before in the K2 with his very good friend Jordan Wood. He's not a bad bloke to slip into a crew that's already got a gold and silver medal.
Yeah, definitely would want him on the boat, for sure.
And I know that the Australians have been very focused on this event. They'll be heading off to Szeged after this. Maybe this will even almost be the crew. There's a couple of changes that will happen in Szeged, but this is almost your top level Australian K4. So keep an eye on them in lane 5. The Germans, of course, always strong, as we saw in the junior 500 when they won that gold medal, the opening race of the day. You wouldn't discount them in this. As Trevor said, the Danes are very strong. The Hungarians, of course, Portuguese in the K4. But I'm going to stick my neck on the line, and I know I'm a bit biased because I am Australian, but I think something very strange would have to happen for the Australians not to finish on the podium here, and they should really finish up the top.
Yeah, I'll definitely give them a top 3 placing in this race.
So lane 1, Ukraine. Lane 2, Serbia. Lane 3, Portugal. Lane 4, Hungary. Lane 5, Australia. Lane 6, Germany. Lane 7 is Denmark. Lane 8, Italy. Lane 9, Bulgaria. Is there a structure to a K4, Trevor, these days? Given it's over 500, do you put your fastest blokes at the front or the back? How do you set your 4 up usually?
Oh, I'm not no master at this. I think it's literally just how the boat gels. I think you want in the front, you of course just want your captain, someone that the whole team respects, the whole crew respects, and knows that it's going to set the right rate, the right tone for the whole boat. Usually seat 2, you've got your more powerful guy, and then the back 2 are literally just the big meatheads that are going to grind it out for you and push you over the line.
Is it a good sign, Trevor, that everyone in the Australian crew has exactly the same haircut?
Exactly. I haven't seen that. Short back and sides.
That is bonding for you. I think somebody went crazy with the clippers. I think it might have been Riley, because he does like handing out a few haircuts here and there. Okay, we're about to get underway. The men's under 23 K4 500, they're off and racing. That is your Australian crew. Not in their regular boat. I think they borrowed it from the Spanish, but you don't normally see them in a red boat. They called it the Red Rocket yesterday. Let's see if it serves them well today. They are off and racing, but on the outside, it's the Germans who have gone out the quickest. They are really throwing it down early and telling the Australians, well, if you want to win this gold, you're going to have to work hard to do it. The early signs seem to be that the Germans had gone out the fastest. The Australians alongside them, just keeping in touch, but it's the Germans, Portuguese also going strong at this stage. We head down towards the middle part of the race.
Yeah, I think the Germans are out there, God.
The Germans have really thrown it out. I mean, do you tire in a 500 K4 race?
Oh yeah, there's definitely big blowouts that can happen in the last 50 metres. It's
So,
just whether or not they can maintain it.
Okay, the board says Denmark in front, but I'm pretty certain that's not right. I'm pretty certain it's the Germans that were out the hardest.
I think the Danes are starting to push through. You've got the Australians pushing
The Australians
through
pushing through now, making their presence felt. So it was the Germans who went out really, really hard, but the Australians just sneaking through now, and Denmark. And on the inside of the Australians, it's the Hungarians. We are in for a cracker of a finish here. Here are the Hungarians who are also finishing nice and strong. It looks like Hungary and Australia are fighting out. I think Australia got their nose in front and should get there. It's the Australians.
Well.
Yeah, oh, Australia, Hungary, Denmark. Australia, Hungary, Denmark, maybe Australia, Denmark, Hungary. Good finish from the Danes. The Germans tired after really throwing it out there for the first
really went for it in their first 250.
But they stopped pretty quickly and have finished off the medal, off the podium. But the Australians timed their race to perfection. They didn't panic when they saw the Germans going out hard early.
Yeah, I think that was a perfect race from the Australians there, the Danes as well, the Hungarians, not letting the Germans get to their heads, just racing their race and waiting for that last little pickup in the last 200.
Well, that is a gold medal for Australia, their second one of the weekend, and they'll be pretty pumped with that. That is Riley Fitzsimmons, the 2016 Olympian, Tom Green, who is a very exciting talent for the Australian team, Jackson Collins, whose father, Daniel, he's probably watching. Good evening to you, Daniel, back in Australia. Of course, an Olympian and a former Australian Olympian. And as I mentioned in the introduction, Jean van der Westhausen joining Australia from South Africa and is really slotted into this team. There is confirmation the Danes did get second and the Hungarians third. The Germans fading to fourth. What did you make of that race, Trev?
That was a really good race. I think the Danes will be really happy with that coming from Euros, where I think they just about missed out on the medals there. I think that was just shows how good K4 500 racing can be. We had 4 boats up there pushing it on. And yeah, that, like you were saying, that Tom Green guy, I think he's the monster, not me.
Yeah, well, he is, and the guy sitting just behind him, Jackson Collins, he used to play Australian football, Australian rules football. You can look at this, check out the shoulders on him, sitting in the third seat in the boat. He's a fairly big lad as well. Riley Fitzsimmons, or Riz as he's known in Australian circles. And there's Tom Green there in the second spot. He'll be pretty happy with his efforts for this week. They all head off to Szeged now. Yeah, there's a bit of muscle there. There's a bit of Trevor Thompson about them. So congratulations to the Australians. Let's look at the finish there. Wow, the Danes just got up over the Hungarians. Good call, Trev. Got a good set of peepers on you. And bronze to the Hungarians. And the Germans fading there. I wonder what their thoughts were. I mean, did they think if they took it out hard early, they might blow the Australians out of the water? Or maybe they thought that was their best chance of possibly finishing on the podium if they could blow everyone out early on.
Yeah, I think a lot with all them K4s, you want a really good start, get the top speed in, and then relax. Maybe they just held the start for a bit too long. If they maybe called the relax a bit earlier, maybe the race would have been a bit different. But it's always hard judging when to stop your start and when to just let the boat start running. I think the Australians, the Danes and the Hungarians really kept a nice pace through there.
So wonderful result there for the Australians. As I mentioned, their second gold medal of the week, which is a good result for them. They also picked up gold last year in the K2 1000. So some good young paddlers there in the Australian team. Now the next final, which is around 4 minutes from now, it is the C2 under 23 women's 500 metres A final. And a very interesting field here. We have Moldova in lane 1. They are the European silver medalists. We have Poland in lane 2. We have China in lane 3. We have Uzbekistan in lane 4. They are the silver medalists from last year. So that is very good form to bring into here, exactly the same crew. Lane 5 is Russia. Kurech, who is the current world champion, not under 23, but senior world champion in 500 metre paddling. And Daria Kachenko, who kept Kurech out of the C1 500 here. So that is the Russian combination, which you would think will be pretty formidable. Lane 6 is the French. Lane 7 is Hungary. Lane 8 is Belarus, bronze medalists at the Europeans. And lane 9 is Ukraine, Arthur Leach joins me back here to talk about the canoe. Arthur, having a look at this field, what do you make of it?
Yeah, it looks like an impressive start line, really. Interesting to see the Moldovans all the way over in lane 1 after performing so well at the Europeans, but we'll see what they can pull out the bag. Those Russians in lane 5 are definitely going to be one to watch. They're both individually exceptional paddlers, so we can see how well they gel as a crew. And then, in general, it seems like a very strong start line, that Uzbekistan boat as well. So, and you never know with the Chinese. They seem to have a habit of pulling it out the bag in finals, so we shall see what happens.
There is a saying, of course, Arthur, isn't there? A great team will always beat a team of greats. And just because you have there a world champion and someone else who's beaten you in the trials doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a great team.
Well, exactly. C2 so much about the timing and working together, especially over the longer distances. You need that boat to run properly, to run well. And if you don't feel that, then it's not going to move that quickly. But obviously, lane 5, fastest qualifiers, should be one to watch.
Of course, the Chinese in lane 3 always. You have to keep an eye on the Chinese in canoe events. They are very, very consistent.
Yeah, they've got a formidable program out there, especially the women's canoe program seems to be functioning well, producing some great athletes to come over here. Slightly more unheard of. Obviously, we don't see them so much in Europe, so it's hard to have a gauge of where they are, but out here at the World Championships, you never know. They could always pull it out the bag.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Uzbekis in lane 4 as well. They were silver medalists last year, so logic tells you they would be even stronger this year. I think lane 4, lane 5, and as you mentioned, interesting to see the Moldovans over in lane 1. They are the current European silver medalists, so...
Well, I think that's just testament to how strong the field is here. We can see what they do there. I didn't see their semi-final, so potentially something went a little wrong for them. But, I mean, it's the final, anything's possible, so... there's quite a young boat from Moldova as well.
It is a young boat, yes. They're all... they're both born in 2000, so 19 or 18 years old. Big futures for them.
Yeah, absolutely. To get to an A final, even just to get here in your first year of under-23 is an impressive achievement. So we can see how they do out there on the outside lane.
So everyone's slipping into position now for the C2 under-23 women's 500 metres.
Just being held on the line there. And they're off.
So a good even start. And we are looking at lanes 5 and lane 4, the logical favourites, but there is no such thing as logic when it comes to junior and under-23 paddling, as we've seen on more than a few occasions already. That is the team from Moldova. I love their boat. It's the easiest boat to spot in the water. How are they tracking? It looks like across in the middle it is the Russians who are going strong with Belarus, with Uzbekistan on their inside.
Yeah, it looks to be in lane 4 and lane 5, tracking pretty evenly together now. They're just lengthening their strokes out, really pushing through, keeping those legs and those hips in time. You see there the Polish paddling through.
And here are the Hungarians, of course. We haven't mentioned them much in the pre-race talk, and that will probably come back to bite us. But there are the Moldovans in lane 1, trying to stick with the rest of the field. It is in the middle of the field, though, lanes 4 and lanes 5, who are really fighting this out as we thought. It's Uzbekistan and Russia.
Yeah, the Uzbekistanis there leading through the 250-metre mark. We'll see how well they execute their race plan towards the finish.
So Uzbekistan ahead of Russia and Moldova. They are the three that we talked about before the race. They are the three who at this stage are fighting it out for the medals. But, wow, look at that, Arthur. It is the girls from Uzbekistan who have really...
They're driving on now through 200, and they're coming down towards the finish line. The Moldovans seem to be fading a bit. There's a big battle on for bronze, I think, over there on the far side. You can't see the boats on the near side here.
But it looks like nothing is going to stop Rakhmatova and Zakharova from Uzbekistan. They are going to go one better than last year. Silver medalists last year. I think they're going to be the gold medalists this year in 2019. Ooh.
Into the red boys now, just a little bit of steering correction going on there. It can hamper your progress. You can see that they've dropped back a little bit, but they're still leading through here. strong into the finish. Last couple of boys to go.
The Russians are coming home
really
strong,
tight
though. The
now.
Russians are coming in over the top. I think the Russians have got them. They have. Oh, my goodness, what happened to Uzbekistan?
Such a finish from the Russians. They're really pushing on, even in the last 10 meters
That
there.
was... What the heck happened there? The Uzbekis were going up and down in the one spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did spot, didn't we? They looked like they lost their line.
Yeah, they look like they lost their steering a bit there in the lane. This can happen. The wind's swirling around here a bit, and these boats can just snap on you if you're not careful with the steering. It looked like they just had a bit of a wobble in that last 50 meters, and that may have cost them the race there.
Well, I think it did. I think the Russians have come over the top of them, and we've got some swimmers there as well. But the Russians have definitely, they've come over the top there. They have taken the gold. The Uzbekistanis, that was one that's got away from them, slipped straight through their fingers. They had that gold medal wrapped up with 100 meters to go, but we saw it in the pictures that there was a correction happened. You called it, Arthur, and they just lost their momentum there, and it's cost them dearly because they have now been put into second place behind the Russians. So congratulations to Senai Kuric and Daria Kachenko, who have stolen.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like it was the Uzbekis' race to lose there. And coming into the last 50 meters, they just had a bit of a wobble, and that can cost you the race. Once you lose the momentum on these boats, especially in the back end of a race, it's so hard to get it back.
And looking at the minor medals there, so Russia get the gold, Uzbekistan the silver, and great effort there for the Hungarians to come through and pick up the bronze medal. So gold to Russia, silver to Uzbekistan, bronze to Hungary. We are going to take a short break and bring you another medal ceremony, and we'll be back shortly with the C4 Men Junior 500 meters final.
Premiera va fi făcută de către domnul Ioan Bârlădeanu, președintele Federației Române de Caiac Canoe, însoțit de conducătorul echipei Canadei.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by the president of the Romanian Canoe Federation, Mr. Bârlădeanu Ioan, accompanied by the team leader from Canada.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Sili Wiley China.
The bronze medal goes to China, Sili Wei Li.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Laura Consol și Reka Opavski, Ungaria.
The silver medal goes to Hungary, Laura Gonzol, Reka Opavski.
Medalie de aur și campioane mondiale la această probă, Sofia Jensen și Julia Ozende, Canada.
The gold medal and the title of world champions, Canada, Sofia Jensen, Julia Ozende.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare. Urmează intonarea imnului Canadei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Canada's national anthem. Thank you.
Well, what a wonderful achievement for the Canadian girls and Sophia Jensen with her third gold medal, and with Julia defending their gold medal from last year. Wonderful, wonderful result. Congratulations to Canada for that achievement. All right, we've got a few more finals to come your way still, including up next the C4 Junior Men's 500 metres final. And I mentioned in the introduction that there's a big Romanian crowd. There they are, very passionate here in Romania about their canoeing, and they are absolutely itching for a gold medal. Could it be the next race? Could it be the next race? Well, look, it's a possibility. The Russians are very strong. They won gold in the Europeans. But the Romanians chased them all the way to the finish line in the Europeans. Will the home crowd be what it takes for them to get up and win their fans a gold medal? I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Arthur Beach is here with me. Arthur, this is... The Russians, logically, are your favourites for this race, but don't underestimate the hometown advantage for the Romanians.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such a good spectator sport. The C4, amazing to watch. I'd say the Russians in the middle, lane 5, would be my favourites, but you never know. Those Romanians looked very strong at the Europeans just a few weeks ago. Most of these boats qualified straight through from the heat. 6 went straight through, so we'll see if there's any fatigue from the boats on the outside lanes from doing their semi-final this morning.
Yes, one of those boats, the Ukrainians, they picked up bronze in the Europeans, so finding themselves out there in lane 1. So we have lane 1 Ukraine, lane 2 Germany, lane 3 Romania, lane 4 Belarus, lane 5 Russia, lane 6 Uzbekistan, lane 7 Spain, lane 8 Hungary, and lane 9 Slovakia. That is your field. Obviously Belarus in lane 4 and Uzbekistan in lane 6. Both very, very strong. The Russians, I've already mentioned, gold medalist at the Europeans, and the Romanians, silver medalists in the Europeans. So what do you think, Arthur, looking across this field? There's a couple of new names, but a couple of the boats are exactly the same as they were in the Europeans.
Yeah, you'd expect that most of the teams are pretty set in stone from the Europeans. You don't want to change too much in a boat. You don't want to upset any of the balance on the rhythm. So it's so crucial in C4 that everyone's moving in sync. Everything's going together. All the power's coming through from the middle 2 people, back person in charge of steering, front person in charge of setting the rhythm, keeping the rate nice and high, just driving on, making sure that you execute the race plan. Yeah, there's so much power in these boats, and they'll get up to speed nice and quickly and then run down the course. Big pick up at 200 to go, and then drive it into the finish. So it'll be a good race to watch. Those Russians in lane 5 look very strong. And then, as you mentioned, the Romanians, home crowd advantage. There's always a bit. They're over on the far side of the lake from the grandstands, so I'm sure they'll still be absolutely buzzing on that start line, raring to go.
We saw in the last race, which was a C2, just how costly it can be if you lose your line, because we had a gold medal slip through the fingers of the crew from Uzbekistan just because they lost their line. You would imagine, Arthur, that it's even more difficult if you've got 4 of you in a boat and one of you misses a stroke or loses your balance slightly. It can throw the whole boat out.
Absolutely. The way that these boats run, you get such a massive amount of distance per stroke that actually missing a stroke can be as costly as putting the whole boat in the water. So, yeah, these crews will have trained together. They'll know what they're doing. They'll be perfectly comfortable, but you never know. You saw the last race coming into the last 50 metres. It just slipped away.
And is there a norm in terms of how you structure your paddlers? Do you have left, right, or do some have 2 lefts at the front, 2 rights at the back? I mean, what is there a norm for this?
generally speaking, so you can see the Romanians there just set up as normal, left, right,
Yep.
or vice versa. And that tends to be the way it works, just keep the boat nice and balanced. They'll have the person who's most comfortable steering at the back. These boats are really hard to steer. You have to react so quickly to anything happening, or you can be on the other side of the lake, to be honest.
Yes.
It's they're very tricky, but they'll all be very well trained, I'm sure, and they'll know what they're doing coming down the course.
So many people would think it would be the person at the front of the boat who is in charge of the steering, but in fact it is the guy at the back.
Yeah, you just get so much more leverage at the back of a canoe, so you tend to have, hopefully these guys won't have to do too much steering. They should have pretty even paddlers on both sides. But it is just a case of correcting any tiny little adjustment that needs to be done for the wind, for anything else. Otherwise, it can ruin your race. It can ruin the run of the boat, and it's so hard to get that momentum back once you're tired and you've got all the lactic building up in your muscles.
All right, the Romanian crowd is getting themselves into position to cheer their boys on here. It's the Russians Petrov, Zhukov, Malkov and Romanov in lane 5 that will be the ones to catch the Romanians Bacella, Batagu, Sorka and Nitu in lane 3. And in between them, Belarus. So we're underway. Let's see how the Romanians can react to that hometown pressure. It is the Russians who go out the fastest, though. It is a 500-metre race, so a lot can change, as we've already seen today. That is your crew from Romania. They are in lane 3.
Yeah, you can see them driving on now. The rates are really nice and high. It's so crucial to keep that rate high all the way down. It's pretty even pegging out the start. The Russians look strong, but so much can change with the pickups and with the race plans.
So even after the first 50, it is the Russians with their nose in front. There are the Germans who are in lane 2, finding themselves in an unusual position. There's the Romanians on the outside of the Germans who are going along quite nicely at the moment. But it is the Russians who are proving to be the ones to catch already. And on the outside
the
here.
Hungarians, they look very strong in their semi-final earlier. I think it's the Hungarians, yes.
It is lane 8, the crew from Hungary. So Hungary lead from Ukraine, Romania and Germany. I don't think that's right. I'm pretty certain the Russians are up there.
The Russians came through first, but that Hungarian boat looked really strong in the semi-final earlier. Had to go through the slightly longer qualifying process, but they're looking strong here.
So there is Russia in front. That is Romania on the outside, who are tracking them down, and the crowd is now getting on their feet. They are supporting their home team. Can they get them into a medal? Could they get them over for a gold? The Hungarians are not giving up either.
The Ukrainian boat as well out on the far side in lane 1 looks strong, coming into the last 100 metres now, really driving it home.
So it's Ukraine in lane 1, Russia in the middle of the course. That is where the gold medal will be decided. It's the Russians, though, who are going to get up, and the Russians just ahead, I think, of Belarus, who flew home in lane 4.
Boat, strong finish there, just as the Romanians faded next to them. They really came through in that last 50 metres.
Unfortunately for the Romanians, it did not go that well. And here is the crew from Uzbekistan. Something obviously went badly wrong for them.
Yeah, it can be in these boats when you just catch the wash. If you drop too far in that first 250, it can be so hard to correct, as I said, and just losing that rhythm will throw the whole boat out. But that was a very solid race from the Russians and the Ukrainians up in lane 1 there.
So unfortunately for the Romanian crowd here, their boys put everything out there early on, but fading as they got towards the finish. Nothing can be taken away from the Russians, though. That was a very measured race from Petrov, Zhukov, Malkov and Romanov from Russia, following up their good European form with the gold medal here at the World Junior Championships. Silver on the inside to Ukraine and third to Belarus. So over there in lane 1, I did mention that the crew from Ukraine were bronze medalists in the European, so they've held that form into this race here.
Yeah, you can see there just how tight it is coming into the lines, even with these big boats. There's tiny margins that separate the medals, and that was a very impressive race there from the Russians. And the Belarusians finishing really strongly in that last 100 metres.
Indeed, so a good day for the Russians so far. They've picked up a couple of gold medals, enjoying themselves very much. And the next race will be In fact, the Russians getting gold medals in consecutive races there, so a good result for them. I haven't heard this song for years. I think this is Sailor, I think it was called, Glass of Champagne. If my memory serves me correct, I am quite old though, so the memory does play tricks. We're heading up for the K1 Junior Men's 500 metre final. That'll be the next race on the program. That is due to get underway in around 5 minutes from now. A really interesting race, this one as well. We have the Bulgarian Denis Dimitrov, who was a silver medalist in the Euros, 6th in this race last year, I think, Denis Dimitrov, so he's improved a lot since last year. The Czech, Tomas Sobosek, who is a bronze medalist from the Europeans, and he won a silver in the 1,000. The Hungarian, Andres Redl, who won a gold in the 1,000 metres. And the Spaniard, Pablo Sanchez, a bronze in the 1,000 metres race. So the gold, silver and bronze from the 1,000 metre race. Trevor Thompson backing up for the 500 metre race.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the Hungarian, based off how he was doing in his 1,000 metre, almost that Friday's final there, looked really strong, really dominant in that. So I'd say he'd probably be up there. Be good to see how the Russian guy does. I've seen him race earlier, he seemed pretty dominant as well. And you've got this Pablo there as well, Spaniard. So it should be a really good race. Really good to see someone from Argentina in the final.
Isn't
as
it?
well.
Yeah, yep.
Definitely.
Yep, so lane 1, Canada, lane 2, Germany, lane 3, Bulgaria, lane 4, Spain, lane 5, Russia, lane 6, Hungary, lane 7, the Czech Republic, lane 8, Argentina, and lane 9, Belarus. I understand that Andres Redl, they call him Bandy. That's his nickname in Hungary. He's raced a lot of K2 over the years, and is also quite a formidable marathon paddler. I understand he's heading off for the Marathon World Championships later on this year. So a few of the Hungarian marathon paddlers are stepping out in the sprint events. I mean, that's the depth of Hungary, isn't it? They do these events, they do marathon, they do sprint, they are really useful. Most of them are born in a kayak, aren't they? And then they come out occasionally for meals.
Yeah, I think it is just a massive sport out there, and when the whole nation's behind it as well, it pushes more kids to get into it, and yeah, as a result, come out of such a dominant country.
So it's the K1 Junior Men's 500. There is Alexei Shishkin, who was really, really good in qualifying, really strong. So he's in lane 5, the Russian. They've won the last 2 gold medals. There's Redl from Hungary, lane 6. What are your thoughts overall on this field, Trev? Dimitrov, obviously the Bulgarian, he's got good form coming into this.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't rule anyone out yet again. It's 500 metre racing, anything can happen. I have to go with the Hungarian just based off his amazing result on Friday. See if he could back that up today.
So he would start the favourite possibly. Levine from Canada, we saw earlier on, he's very quick early on. I think it was over the 1,000, so maybe the 500 might suit him better. Hauser from Germany, of course. The Germans have a very big field here. Don't discount he figuring in the top 3 in some stage in this race. Dimitrov from Bulgaria, Sanchez from Spain, the bronze medalist from the 1,000 metre race, Shishkin, the Russian, Redl from Hungary, Sobosek from the Czech Republic. I really liked his 1,000 metre race the other day. I think that he will put together a pretty decent 500. Valentin Rossi from Argentina. He, of course, was at the Youth Olympic Games last year and won a bronze medal at the Youth Olympic Games. So just a young guy here representing Argentina. And on the outside of the course, Maxim Kutsky from Belarus. Looks like the wind's picking up a bit, is it, out there, Trev?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Is it headwind out there, I think? Hard to say. I think it's swirling around a lot today.
So the athletes have been called up into their starting positions. The first one into the buckets is Alexei Shishkin from Russia.
It's in the lane 9 there.
Yes, we're missing the Belarusian in lane 9. There he is. Is that a bit of a tactic, you think, Trev? Keep people waiting a little bit?
It could be, get on people's nerves.
Off and no, it's a false start. Our first false start for the day. So did you see what happened there? I didn't
quite catch it then.
What does that do for your nerves when you have a false start?
Oh, it really shakes you up then. That's when the pressure starts to get on. It's hard enough just trying to do the start right once, but going for a second time's even worse.
May well have been the Czech Sobasek in lane 7 who may have caused the false start. Now, what are the rules, Trevor, for a false start? The first one, obviously, no one gets disqualified.
Yeah, I think it will get called for the check there, and then if he does it a second time, that'll be him disqualified, I'm pretty sure.
Now, unlike athletics, if it was a different athlete who did it the second time...
it might actually be like that. I'm not too sure about the rules myself. Potentially could just be like that, yeah.
I hope, because in athletics it doesn't matter who breaks, I think the second time, they're out. Or swimming, I think, is definitely like that. So let's wait and see. Well, let's hopefully not wait and see, because I'd hate to see an athlete disqualified for... I mean, obviously now nobody's going to try and get a jump on the start, are they?
Yeah, I think people won't try and anticipate as much now. So maybe a little bit of a slower start from everyone, but just a safer call, really.
Is that a tactic that if you know you've got fast starters alongside you that you might want to... I'm not saying somebody would deliberately false start, but if it causes everyone to maybe just take a step back, it's not a bad idea, is it?
Could do, yeah. I think you've just come up with a game
I think
plan
I have.
there, yeah.
You can write that down at home, folks. Young paddlers there, a chance to stop those fast starters in your race. Well, he got a good start again. He really did fly out of the box in lane 7. That Thomas Sobasek from the Czech Republic, he really went hard early. So wanting to put down an early marker for the rest of the field. The German also going strong early. There's the athlete from Spain, Sanchez, bronze medalist. Look at that, Sobasek early, but crossing lane 2, Trevor, it's the German, Hauser, who's gone out strong.
Yeah, he's looking very strong out there, low stroke rate, bringing it through.
Dimitrov from Bulgaria, a silver medalist at the Euros. There's the German who went out hard. The German and the Czech were the two early who put down some hard yards. Here is the athlete from Russia coming through. Wait for the Hungarian, though, because he's a marathon paddler. You would expect him to finish the strongest out of everybody, and even now he's starting to push through. Redl from Hungary. So
got the Canadian as well up there.
I've got the Canadian down. He was a fast starter the other day, so he's done the same thing this time. Looking across the field, though, is the Russian being chased by the Hungarian, and across in lane 1 it is the Canadian.
Oh, the Hungarian's just switching it on.
The Hungarian's just slipping up a gear now, though. Look at that. That is smooth, isn't it? It's like a Ferrari. The Russian holding on by his fingernails, but the Hungarian, look at that now, and the Canadian
as well.
So it's the Hungarian in lane 6. That's Redl. Across in lane 1, it's Levine from Canada. They are the two fighting it out at the moment. Lane 6 from Hungary. Lane 1 from Canada. Don't let that angle deceive you. The Hungarian is in front at this stage. The Canadian is really throwing it out there, though. The Hungarian gets there. Redl from Levine.
I think it maybe could have been Czech and then Germany for the 3rd place.
Somebody's very excited down there. I'm not quite sure which country that is that's celebrating. Maybe it's the Canadians. They do like a medal. But that is a really nice race there from Andres Redl, wasn't it? He just timed that beautifully. Look at that. So crossing the line there, easing down. Canada take the silver, and I think maybe the German maybe got up for the bronze. Let's wait and see. Canadian looks pretty happy with himself, Trev. He would be pretty stoked to come here and win a silver medal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you win a medal, it's a special moment.
So waiting official confirmation now. But no doubt about the winner from Hungary. That is a double gold for Andres Redl from Hungary. Congratulations to him. And confirmation there, Andres Redl gold. Laurent Levin from Canada takes the silver. And as you called it, Trev, Tomas Sobosek from the Czech Republic snuck up to get the bronze. He got the best of the start, Sobosek. So that's a good effort for him to hang on and to come back for the bronze.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good work from the Canadian lad all the way out there in lane 1 as well. Just pushing it through, racing himself, gets that German out there as well.
Just sneaking under the radar a little bit. You can catch people off guard, can't you? Because nobody's watching you out there.
Yeah, sometimes just hits you in the periphery by surprise. See how much that means to him, proper tired.
Yeah, it looks like there's
the Canoe girls.
the Canadian girls who already have a gold medal today over there celebrating with their teammate Laurent Levin. That's great to see. I mean, there is one thing you say about the juniors and the under 23, Trev. There seems to be, and this is nothing against senior teams, but there does seem to be a greater level of camaraderie amongst junior and under 23 teams.
Yeah, I think it's more special because it's your first time as well, getting on the podium. I remember when I was a junior and I got my first medal, it meant so much to me compared to now making an A final on the 23 or seniors. So yeah, I think it is a big special moment as well for them. It just helps them drive for the years to come.
So there we have the start list for the next race. It's the K2 Junior Women's 500. We have a British boat in here, Zoe Clark and Enya Dale. What can you tell us about those? We've seen Zoe already today, Enya Dale.
Yeah, so Zoe's already been racing today. Enya's our K1 200 metre athlete. I think she was just in the B final. Still up there. She's really she wanted to push it on in here to make up for that. So yeah, both girls there. Zoe just done the K1 500 as well. Really pushed it on. Great performance from her.
So it's a quality field this for juniors. We've got the Czechs, Soboskova and Galadova. They gold medalists from the Europeans and bronze medalists in this exact race last year. So watch out for the Czechs in lane 6. The Danes, Jensen and Milvers, silver in the European Championships this year. And the Hungarians, now we've already seen today Kolhami racing. She picked up a gold medal earlier on today, and she's partnering Esther Rendezi, who is a really good sprint paddler and a YOG, Youth Olympic Games gold medalist. So I would think, Trev, that the Hungarians in lane 5, there they are there on screen now. The only question might be is how much petrol does Kolhami have left in the tank, because we called her earlier on, and as you called in that race, she wasn't slowing down as she got to the finish line. So what has she got left?
Yeah, I think once these guys at this level, World Championships, they're used to doing race after race. It's just a daily nature to them, I think. Don't think it would have affected her too much. So they'll be up there to push it on for this one as well.
So in lane 5, it'll be Kolhami and Rendezi from Hungary. So across the field, we have lane 1, Great Britain, lane 2, Serbia, lane 3, Germany, lane 4, Denmark. There they are on screen now, or there they were. Lane 5 is Hungary. Lane 6, the Czech Republic, the reigning European gold medalist. Lane 7 is Belarus. Lane 8, Slovakia. And on the extreme outside of the course in front of us, there are the girls from Russia, Avdiva and Daneko. Hungarians favourite, do you think, or should it be the European champions?
Yeah, I don't know, hard to say. We can go for both. See what turns out.
So a good clean start, no problems there. We are underway in the K2 Junior Women's 500 metres. It is Hungary in lane 5 that we're watching. There are the Brits. How are they looking, Trevor?
Good shot at them. I think, yeah, Zoe's setting a nice rate there. I think it seems to be in the middle though, the Hungarians and the Czech Republic guys pushing it on.
The Hungarians and the Czechs, and on their inside the Danes. At the moment, the 3 boats that are looking nice and strong. The girls from Hungary, though, going out very strong. Kohami and Rendezi. They would know the quality of the Czech boat alongside them. The Czechs just keeping in touch at the moment, but it is Kohami and Rendezi from Hungary who have taken an early stranglehold on this race. Wow, that's a big gap already, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the Czechs are trying to just keep in touch with them there.
So, have the Czechs got a big finish in them? They're going to need it because the Hungarians are going to take a power of beating from here. It's Hungary against the head of the Czech Republic and the Danes back in third. But the Hungarians at this stage still looking strong. The Czechs are now throwing down the challenge, Trevor.
Yeah, the field's getting really spread out there now with the Hungarians. I think the Czechs are still trying to hold on there. I'm not too sure.
Oh, it's going to take a power of work from there if they're going to get over the Hungarians, because the Hungarians are looking stronger with every stroke. And in fact, they are now putting a little bit of daylight between themselves and the Czechs. This is going to be another gold medal for Hungary. They're having a pretty good final day here at these World Championships. Doesn't look like there's any fatigue there, Trevor.
No, I think they, like you said, they're still pulling away there. Looking dominant.
That is a big margin. Look at that. What a convincing win here to the young girls from Hungary. Kohami and Rendezi. The Czechs are going to take the silver. Close for third. Maybe it was Belarus.
I would go maybe Belarus. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe Belarus on the outside. But that is possibly one of the more convincing wins of the day there to MS Kohami, giving her a golden double on the final day of competition, taking the gold ahead of the Czech Republic with, we think, Belarus.
Yeah, that is something special to come and take 2 golds away from this championships.
Yeah.
Something a lot of athletes can't say that they've done.
Nope. They are both born in 2002, so
Hungary's team, please come for the medal ceremony.
maybe they've got another year still in juniors, which is a bit scary. A bit scary for everyone else. And Hungary's gold medal feast continues on the final day. No real surprises. I think they are so strong across the board in so many different races now. Confirmation, MS Kohami and Esther Rendezi with the gold. Stepanka Sobosakova and Barbara Galadova, the European champions, settle for silver. And Hanna Pashchenka and Maria Kalahuna from Belarus take the bronze. Some great paddling there. Congratulations to everyone involved. So I think we're going to squeeze in another medal ceremony here, and then we'll be back with the C2 under 23 men's 500 meters. You are watching live pictures from Pitesti in Romania. This is the 2019 ICF Junior and Under 23 Canoe Sprint World Championships, a chance to showcase the best athletes in the world for years to come. These are the young athletes that we are going to see. We'll see some of them next year in Tokyo. We'll see a lot of them, I think, in Paris in 4 years' time. And then I think we'll see quite a few also fronting up in Los Angeles in 2028. So you are seeing here people who are going to be household names in 10 years' time. No doubt about that. You can already see some of the class coming through. We've been privileged to watch over this week some fantastic talent from all around the world coming here to paddle. And one of the things that I think has really impressed me is the athletes from countries that don't often find themselves in finals at this level. They are really picking up their game, and we're seeing athletes from Cuba and South Africa and New Zealand. They're all coming through now and starting to make their mark and showing that canoeing is growing stronger and stronger all around the world.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premieră a câștigătorilor probei de canoe dublu tineret fete 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for C2 U23 women 500 meters is starting.
Premiera va fi făcută de către Simon Tulson, secretar general al Federației Internaționale de Canoe, însoțit de conducătorul echipei din Rusia.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by the General Secretary of the International Canoe Federation, Mr. Simon Tulson, accompanied by the team leader from Russia.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Sofia Kisman, Giada Bragato, Ungaria.
The bronze medal goes to Hungary. Sofia Kispan, Giada Bragato.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Dilnoza Rakhmatova și Nulufer Zokirova, Uzbekistan.
The silver medal goes to Uzbekistan. Dilnova Rakhmatova, Nulufar Zokirova.
Medalie de aur și campioane mondiale la această probă, Ksenia Kuraș și Daria Ksharacenko, Rusia.
The gold medal and the title of world champions, Russia, Ksenia Kurach, Daria Karachenko.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare, urmează imnul Rusiei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Russia's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you.
So we're around 4 minutes away from the next race. If you're just joining us, this is the 2019 ICF Junior and Under-23 Canoe Sprint World Championships. I've been privileged to have Arthur Leach and Trevor Thompson from the Great Britain team here with me in commentary this afternoon. And Arthur's back alongside me as we prepare for the C2 Under-23 Men's 500. Been some great racing today already, Arthur.
Yeah, there's been plenty of tight racing today. It's been really good to watch. The 500s is always a great distance, especially in the crew boats, because it all comes together in that last 100 metres. I think just a quick word on the conditions out there. The wind is picking up massively now. It has been swirling around all day out there, but definitely getting stronger. It's just a direct headwind at the moment, so there's no advantage to any side of the course. But that's why we're seeing some slightly slower times compared to last year.
And we saw yesterday, late in the afternoon, Arthur, a lot of capsizes. A lot of people went into the water, and I assume it was because of the wind, chopping things up a little bit.
Well, that won't help, but it really depends on the races. I'm sure all these athletes are perfectly comfortable in their boats and perfectly capable of paddling down with a little bit of chop. It may just be the case with pressure in the heats and the semi-finals from yesterday, and the finals, in fact, from the 200 metres. You just give absolutely everything to the finish line, and then that's all you've got.
So the C2 under 23 men's 500, a lot of these guys, I'm sure that Arthur has paddled against, possibly even here this week. In lane 1 we have Hungary, lane 2 Italy, lane 3 Ukraine, lane 4 Poland, lane 5 Moldova, lane 6 Romania. Is this the race where they'll pick up possibly a gold medal? Lane 7 is Russia, lane 8 is Spain, and lane 9 is Belarus. Any insights you can give us on any of these paddlers, Arthur?
Well, not particularly. The Italians, I believe, are in my 1,000-metre heats. They were going very fast in the slightly longer distances, so we'll see how that transfers down. The Romanians, obviously home favourites, towards the grandstands as well, so we'll see how that plays into their hands. They've been hanging around just outside the medal position so far today, just fading a little bit in that last 200 metres. So we'll see if they can cling on and try and get themselves a home medal, which I'm sure will be appreciated by the crowd here.
Indeed. Form points to the Russians. They are the European champions, Pavel Belov and Artem Pron, and the Russians have already had a great day. They've picked up a couple of gold medals, so could they make it a third? And the team from Belarus, they were bronze medalists at the European Championships. So they are the two form sides teams going in here, but Moldova, quickest through the earliest rounds. The Poles, of course, have been paddling well here this week. As you mentioned, the Romanians and the home crowd, could that be a factor as this race unfolds? Never want to discount the Hungarians over in lane 1. It's just the day they're having. Anything could happen there. So, yeah, quite an even race, I think, but they're underway. They're underway, and there are the Romanians. A lot of the hopes of the Romanian crowd are pinned on these two chaps, Leonard Karp and Stefan Strat, but at the midway stage,
You can see they're very even at the start there, just coming through probably the first 150 metres, coming up to the midway stage now. That is the Ukrainian boat out in lane 3.
So we'll get a better idea in just a moment about who's mastering these tricky conditions. As Arthur said, there is quite a strong wind now, so that is an added factor to this race. So heading up now to halfway. It looks like Poland going strong, but here it is, the Romanians.
Romanians coming through in the lead just there, just the nose in front, I think, at 250 metres to go. So we'll see how well they can hold on to that.
Yeah, word is now filtering through to the crowd that their boys are in front, so keep an ear out for the crowd and they will really lift here. It is the Romanians in the gold medal position. Go you good things.
Yeah, and they seem to be holding on nicely as well, keeping the long strokes, good technique.
Yeah,
solid.
It's the Polish boat which is chasing them down at the moment, but it's Romania just in front of Poland. Keep going, boys. We want to have a hometown gold medal here. I don't want to sound biased.
And I think the Italians over in lane 2 are doing very well as well. They seem to be in a fight with the Ukrainian boat next to them for the bronze medal.
Now have a listen to that crowd. They are trying to get their boys up. At the moment, the Romanians in front. They have to hold on here.
Tight finish with the Polish, though. They're both coming into the line together. This is going to be really close.
I think it's Romania still just got there.
So close on the line. I'm not confident calling
I
that one,
think that the Romanians just held off the, well, I think it was
all the
Russia,
home
was
fans
it?
will certainly be wanting that to come across on the line for the Romanian boat.
Let's wait and see officially The crowd seems to think their boys have got it.
Certainly a podium for the Romanians. At worst, that's going to be the silver medal.
I think the Poles might have got there. Let's just wait and see. Oh, yeah, looking at it now, I think Poland, Romania, Poland, I think, lunged at the right time. And oh, heartbreak. That is heartbreak. If that is as it looks, the Romanians have been pipped on the line.
Yeah, right on the line. It was a really strong last half of the race there from the Polish boat.
Ah, look at that.
So close. Look at that margin. That's
my
incredible.
Goodness. That is heartbreak for the Romanians. They really looked like they had that race. But hats off to the Poles. They flew home.
Yeah,
and as you mentioned it yesterday, Arthur, about the importance of lunging at the right time for the finish, and the Poles got that spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. In the canoe events, in the kayaks, it doesn't make quite so much difference. In fact, it can be a disadvantage. But in the canoes, it can win or lose you the race, and I think that's what we saw there. Such a tight finish on the line.
Well, they'll be happy, but they'll be a little bit disappointed as well. I'm sure the Romanians had probably thought that they had that gold lined up, but it's a medal at home in front of the home crowd. The Poles are pretty stoked with the timing. They got that right on the money. Alexander Pitesti and Norman Zazula from Poland pick up their first gold medal of today. Congratulations, boys. Just timed it to perfection. And the Romanians, who took it out so hard, didn't they? They really wanted to give the crowd something to cheer for. The crowd, I've got to say, they did everything to lift the boys, but in the end, the Poles just timed their finish a little bit better.
Yeah, the home crowd definitely helping there, but it just came down to that lunge on the line, which is always so tough to lose a race there. Well, I say lose. You still get a silver medal, which is incredibly impressive from the Romanian C2 there.
Interestingly, the Russians, the reigning champions, the European champions, sorry, were out of that race pretty early.
Yeah, they didn't feature too much. I think partly having the tight turnaround between the European and the World Championships doesn't help, but most of these boats have done that, so potentially something went wrong, potentially just struggling in the conditions out there.
So gold Poland, silver to Romania. It's, what are we now? We're looking at 18 past the hour for the next medal, which next race, which is 4 minutes from now. It'll be the K1 under 23 men's 500 meters. And this is a very even field, possibly one of the most even fields of the day. We have in lane 5 the Ukrainian Ivan Semikin, who was a silver medalist in the 200 meters. We have the German Jakob Thorsen, who was a silver in the 1,000 meters, and Augustin Rodriguez from Argentina, who was 4th in the 1,000. So they are 3 of the chaps to watch in this, but there are a lot of others. And one of the great things about this field is the spread from around the world. Slovenia lane 1, Denmark lane 2, Spain lane 3, 4 is Argentina, 5 Ukraine, 6 Germany, 7 Curtis Imrie from New Zealand, 8 Jared Gibson from South Africa, and in lane 9 we have Ivan Lukniov from Kazakhstan. Trevor Thompson,
big man there,
Curtis Imrie. He is a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, I know he's got a lot of fans back at home supporting him today.
They'll be sitting up late in New Zealand watching. It's about, what is it time now? It's about 9 o'clock in the evening, 9:15 in New Zealand. So on a Sunday night, so they'll all be sitting down. They would have had a Sunday roast because it's winter there at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So they would have had a hot dinner in New Zealand, maybe some fish and chops or something like that. And they'll now be watching their boy Curtis Imrie. You would have raced against a few of these guys, Trev?
Yeah, a couple of them there. Ivan Simic, the Ukrainian guy, really good, really fast out of the blocks kind of guy. I think Knudsen was just in that K4 that went down, that Danish K4 that came second. So for him to turn this around, it's a very quick turnaround. The other guys are all there, big names. Rodriguez, I think he's been around for ages. I remember 2 years ago he was really good as well. It's been good to see how he does that here today.
So Jakob Thordsson, maybe he is the favourite, the German. Certainly looked strong over 1,000. See how he transfers that into the... Well, it's interesting here, you've got a guy who was very fast over 1,000 and a guy who was fast over 200. And they're coming together in the middle to arm wrestle here for the 500 metre under 23 world title. Of course, this is not an Olympic distance for men. It is for women, but not for men.
Yeah, it's a big gut in there. I've always loved watching 500 metre racing. Always been a great event.
Of course, it's a very popular event with the Australians because we have the reigning Olympic gold medalist in the men's 500. Back in 2008, the last time the 500 was paddled, and Kenny Wallace, who's probably watching as well back on the Gold Coast, Big Kenny. He won the gold medal at the last outing for the 500, so unless things change in the future, he will always be the reigning Olympic gold medalist.
It's crazy to think 11 years ago.
Yeah, isn't it?
Ages.
My goodness. He's still paddling, Kenny. I'm not sure if he's still aiming to try and get to Tokyo, but it was his dream after Rio. He talked about going on, but we've seen so many young guys coming through in Australia now, so I'm not sure whether he's still holds that dream. There he is, the young guy. Wouldn't it be fantastic to see an Argentinian Rodriguez figure in the medals here?
Would be amazing, yeah.
So we're just waiting to get underway in this final. The K1 under 23 men's 500, ready to go. Curtis Emery from New Zealand, lane 7. Jared Gibson from South Africa, lane 8. And they're underway. A pretty good start, although the German was a little bit slow out of the blocks. Simikin from Russia, no problems there with his start. He is flying, from Ukraine, sorry, he is flying out in the early part of this race. So we wait now to get a look across the field to see who's going the best early on. But it is in lane 5. It looks like the Ukrainian Semikin, who is...
And
Curtis Emery.
Yeah.
He's making his mark early on, so he can hear the cheers all the way from New Zealand coming in to get Curtis up onto the podium. Semikin, though, that he is a 200-metre paddler, so he will go fast early. The question is, can he hold on when the likes of Thordsson and Emery come charging home over the top of him? So you would expect that Semikin will lead at the halfway stage. Coming up now for the 250, and it is Curtis Emery, in fact, who's gone out the fastest. So a New Zealander in front.
Really taking it out there, Curtis is then.
What's he like over 500?
He is really good. I know he's always usually made A finals at this kind of event.
So it's Curtis Emery from Australia. It's the German 1,000-metre paddler Thordsson who is putting down the challenge, though. So Emery and Thordsson, Germany and New Zealand, and way across on the other side of the field, it looks like the Dane.
Yeah, Dane seems to be pushing it on.
So Curtis Emery needs to dig deep here if he wants to hang on for a medal, because there's a few boys coming through, but it's the German Thordsson who's at this stage looking pretty strong. Jakob Thordsson from Germany, a very colourful boat.
Very powerful paddling there.
Way across on the other side, it's the Dane Knudsen who's also finishing strongly, but I think the German will get up. Thordsson will take the gold.
Curtis is still in there for a medal.
He's got the bronze, I think. Bronze for New Zealand, so gold to Germany. Jakob Thordsson, Rasmus Knudsen from Denmark, across in lane 2, took the silver, and I think to the naked eye, how did you see it, Trevor? I thought Curtis Emery got the bronze for New Zealand.
I think Curtis took the bronze there. I think he'd be really pleased with that. I'm sure he's got loads of family members back at home supporting them.
Among them will be his sister, of course, a member of the K4. Women's K4. The Hungarian drums are quiet. They didn't have anyone in that event, so they can have a bit of a spell. They've had enough today anyway. They've won enough gold medals. But good race from Thordsson there, who paddled it like a 1,000-metre paddler, didn't he?
Yeah, he did go quite slow out the buckets, and then just kind of turned the power on all the way through.
So a gold and a silver medal for Thordsson here in Pitesti. He finished second behind Tom Green. But what is that? What is that all about?
Looked like a little whale toy. I don't know what he's got.
What's he doing? Is he saying save the whale, or I eat like a whale? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm sure there's a meaning that somebody at home will know what that is all about. But congratulations Jakob Thordsson, gold medalist. Here we have confirmation, and Curtis Imrie did get the bronze. So gold for Germany, Jakob Thordsson. Silver for Rasmus Knudsen from Denmark. The bronze to Curtis Imrie from New Zealand. And the Ukrainian speedster, Ivan Semikin, holding on there for fourth, ahead of Rodriguez and Schmidt.
Yeah, so that's 2 silvers for Knudsen from
Yeah.
Denmark.
Yep.
That's really good total. I think there was literally only like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half in between his race there.
What do you do during that time? If you've got a bit of time and you know you're out again, do you stay on the water or do you get off? Well, I suppose it's different for every paddler, Trev.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to stay on for quite an hour. That's quite a long time. I think they'll go for a little cool down in the K1 and get off, refuel and all that. And then
Would you eat? Would you eat between races?
I don't think you'd have like a big meal. Maybe just like an energy gel, maybe a couple of nuts or something. Who knows? But definitely not a full meal.
Get a massage, probably, would you?
Oh, I don't know. I think it depends on the athlete. For me, I personally wouldn't get one because it just kind of loosens off the muscles a bit too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think every person's to their own. Definitely would take on some gels, a bit of caffeine and all that.
And I suppose the most important thing is to try and stay away from everyone so you can stay focused and stay in the zone. I'm sure there's lots of people who want to come up and have a chat.
Yeah, exactly.
But for a lot of athletes, they like to just get off by themselves, put the headphones on, listen to a bit of music. Are you a music man before you race?
Yeah, that's how I get pumped before my races. Yeah.
What do you listen to? What's your go-to song? Have you got something you always listen to before you get on the water?
Probably be Canoe, Freewheel Up. He's one of the guys from the UK. Definitely gets me pumped before a race. I think a lot of people, some people quite like rock metal. I'm not really into that.
Yeah.
Personally, but yeah, a couple people.
So you like Keen, do you?
Me?
Did you say
Kano?
Kano.
Yeah, he's like more like a rapper.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never heard of him.
You probably wouldn't have heard of him.
I haven't heard of him.
Myself, no.
I haven't heard of him. I've been slow to get onto the rap wagon. Sort of left me behind a little bit. Although I think a couple of the big name rappers from the UK live around the corner for me. So I was told.
Really?
But I'm not sure about that at all. It could have been an urban myth as well. You know how people say, I saw him down at the local shops?
Yeah.
And actually turns out it wasn't him at all. It was some bloke just rocketing there to get himself some ciggies or something like that. Not that we're encouraging that at home. If you're watching young folk, do not go into shops to buy ciggies. We are awaiting now the next race, which will be let me just check here. In 4 minutes from now, the K2 under 23 women's 500. And this has a very strong European flavour to this race. I think this is the last final of the day, is it?
I think last A final, yeah.
The last final of the day, the last final of the competition, Trevor Thompson. And so let's see if we can call a winner before they even get out on the water here. We have Belarus in lane 1, Romania in lane 2, Spain in lane 3, Germany in lane 4, Hungary in lane 5, Ukraine lane 6, Poland lane 7, Russia lane 8, and the Czech Republic in lane 9. Now, just to give you a little bit of form, heading into this, the Hungarians, Bibin and Bako, silver medalists at the European Championships. The Russians finished behind them, bronze at the European Championships. The Germans, though, Jules Hake has already won a gold here in the 1,000, and she won the silver last year with a different partner, though, to Katarina Kota. So how will Jules Hake go? We'll have to wait and see. And Poland, same boat exactly, that finished 4th last year in this race. So Germany and Hungary, they are the two dominant nations here this week. Will they fight out the finish, Trev?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Polish crew is always a good one to go for. Hungary, Germany, very good crew boats as well. Romania's in there as well. We'd like to see how they do. The Hungarian crew is quite a young crew there. I think it's first year, under 23 for them. So it'll be good to see how they do.
So let's hope we finish with a flurry. Let's hope we finish with an absolute barn burner, as we call it. A grandstand finish is what we're looking for to finish off this 2019 ICF Junior and Under 23 Canoe Sprint World Championships. Coming to you from Pitesti in Romania. Have you had a chance to get out and have a look around the town, Trevor, while you've been here?
Yeah, I pretty like Romania. It's a lovely place. People are really friendly. I find that it's quite weird. You come to these European countries and at like 9 o'clock you expect people to start going to bed. But no, the nightlife comes out. You have families coming out with their kids till like God knows when hours, up to like 11, just having their dinners, getting ready for the...
You're right though, the Romanians are so friendly and so welcoming. They've really made us feel at home here. It's been wonderful. I made that mistake. I mean, I've been there plenty of times, but a few weeks ago I was in Spain at Sort for our Freestyle World Championships, and I went out at 9 o'clock, which is late for me to go out at 9 o'clock for a meal. And I thought, God, what a boring place this is. There's no one on the street. So I've managed to find somewhere open and got something to eat, and then went home, and then at about 11 o'clock I looked out the hotel window, and of course the place was absolutely going off.
Yeah.
The Spaniards had woken up from their siesta or whatever they do and decided to go out and party until 3 a.m. in the morning. That was good the first night, but after about 5 nights of it I thought, okay, that's enough, guys.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be great for the hosts to finish with a medal here? They've been wonderful hosts. Thank you so much for Pitesti and for Romania for having us here. Let's watch this last race. It is the K2 Under-23 Women's 500. They are off and racing in the last gold medal of the World Championships. It's the Hungarians in lane 5, the Germans in lane 4, Romania, the home nation, in lane 2. It's a real whirlwind start here. We're waiting to get across the field to see how we're looking. That is the boat from Belarus in lane 1 that's gone out hard, but in the middle of the field, Trevor, it is lane 5, I think, the Hungarians who've gone out the fastest.
Yeah, definitely got to say with the Hungarians there looking really strong. Got the Spaniards here looking very strong as well.
So we're about to come down to the halfway stage of this 500-metre race. This is an Olympic event, of course, the K2 500 for women. So we have, I'm sure, plenty of athletes here that we're going to see in the Olympics in years to come. At this stage, look at that, it's the Hungarians. That is a commanding lead, but right across there in lane 1 from Belarus, Trevor.
Yeah, we've got the Belarusians there as well, another good crew boat.
The Hungarians, silver medalist at the European Championships, so they have the form. Germany at this stage not in the mix. It's the Hungarians and the Belarusians across in lane 1. Maybe even Belarus, maybe just edging up alongside them now. So this is going to be a really interesting finish. I wonder whether the Hungarians are even aware what's going on their extreme outside, because there's nothing happening in their immediate proximity. The Hungarians, they look like they've got their race together.
Yeah, I think they are starting to pick it up now, as you can see there. I think the Belarusians starting to maybe fade a bit.
Poland's coming through.
Yeah, Poland as well.
So at this stage, it's Hungary. They are going to finish this as they rightly should with a gold medal. It's been a wonderful event for the Hungarians. They're coming down to the line now. Some late flurries happening here. Oh, wow. I think the Hungarians, though, will get it.
I think it might have Spain
just from Spain, I think. Spain managed to get up for the silver, and maybe across in lane 1, Belarus held on for the bronze. But a pretty excited Karina Biben and Olga Bako. Yep, that's excited.
Definitely happy about that.
Means a lot for the Hungarians. It's such a big sport in Hungary. It's almost their passion. In Hungary, you know, you go to other countries and you have soccer and cycling and all this sort of stuff. But in Hungary, it's canoeing. And if you can make your name in Hungary as a canoeist, then you're going pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's amazing to see how much support that they bring to every event. You've usually got a guy on the drum going crazy.
He was there. He was there.
He's definitely there. But yeah, it does make it more special when you've got a big support team coming out from home.
So just awaiting official confirmation, but it's definitely the Hungarians. Karina Biben, she looks pretty emotional there to finish with that gold medal. Karina Biben and Olga Bako from Hungary take the gold. Yes, the Spaniards got up. Great race from the Spaniards.
Really good race.
Ada Bozo and Leia Palax takes the silver, and in the bronze it's the girls from Belarus. That was a pretty brave race, Trevor, over in lane 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they kind of had to. It's really hard when you're in that lane 1 to know what's going on, but maybe if they were in the centre they might have been able to push on, seeing the Hungarians where they were and how close they were. But I think they're still really happy with that, as you can see on the screen.
So congratulations to all the medalists. Congratulations to Hungary, who finish up as the dominant nation here. They have won the most gold medals ahead of Germany. Poland have also had a wonderful World Championships. Russia had a great day today. picking up a couple of gold medals. Australia had a couple of gold medals. And, of course, the Brits, let's not forget the Brits. They had their day yesterday with a gold medal. How was the celebrations last night, by the way?
No, he couldn't celebrate last night. He had K4 today, so maybe tonight he'll try and get out there with his family. He's got a big family support that came out here. I think it's about 10 of them that all came out.
All right, so look out Pitesti tonight for Dan and his family. They'll be out there looking for a good time. Thank you to everybody here in Pitesti who have helped to put on a wonderful World Championships. It's been really, really good having a look at some of these names of the future. We've seen some wonderful, talented athletes coming through the system here, and I think we're going to see a lot of them in years to come. Thank you at home for watching and enjoying. I hope you've been enjoying our coverage. Thank you to Trevor Thompson, Big Trev. You can find him on Instagram. He's going along very nicely there. Get on the bandwagon, folks. Trev, thank you, mate, for coming up.
Thanks for having us and all that.
You got exams coming up, mate, I understand.
Yeah,
Is that right?
I've got an exam the day before I fly out for the Senior World Champs. So
have you done the required work, do you think? Or?
I probably could do a little bit more, but...
Well, maybe while the rest of the team go out to celebrate tonight, you could stay home and get the head in the books.
That's definitely not happening. No, tonight's the celebration night. Got to get it done.
All right, mate. Well, good luck. Good luck in the exam, and we'll see you out in Szeged in a couple of weeks.
See you out there. Thanks again.
No, thank you, and thank you to Arthur Leach. Thank you, Arthur, for helping out with the canoe commentary. Fantastic, and also Katie Hipkins for helping us out yesterday. It's been great having them here as part of the team. My name's Ross Solly. It's been great having your company over the last couple of days. We hope you've enjoyed watching the Junior and Under-23 World Championships coming to you live from Pitesti. Make sure you join us in a couple of weeks' time, because we will be coming to you live from Szeged. It is the big one this year in the canoe sprint calendar. It is the Senior World Championships. It will also be an Olympic qualifying event. You will really see the best of the best. And we're told there'll be 30,000 people turning out to watch the World Championships in a couple of weeks, just lining the banks of the waterway there. So make sure you join us at canoeicf.com in a couple of weeks. We'll leave you in the hands of our announcer for the medal ceremony. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Ana Pacianca și Maria Kaluhina, Belarus.
The bronze medal, Belarus, Hanna Pacianca, Maria Kaluhina.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Stepanka Sobiskova și Barbora Galadova, Cehia.
The silver medal goes to Czech Republic, Stepanka Sobiskova, Barbara Galadova.
Medalie de aur și campioane mondiale la această probă, Emze Kohalmi și Esther Rendesi, Ungaria.
The gold medal and the title of world champions, Hungary, Emese Kohalmi, Esther Rendesi.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare, urmează imnul Ungariei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hungary's national anthem. from Egypt, please come to the finish tower. The team leader from Egypt, please come to the finish tower. boats 5179 to boat control. 5179. Boats 8, 6, 2, 5, the boat control. 8, 6, 2, 5.
Doamnelor, domnișoarelor și domnilor, iată un moment special, așa cum au fost toate de până acum. Alături de mine, președintele Federației Române de Caiac Canoe, domnul Ioan Bârlădeanu, invitații de marcă, așa cum au fost pe parcursul celor 4 zile. Domnule președinte, ce sentimente acum la finală de ediție?
Da, e un gust dulce-amar. Pentru reușita organizării, mulțumesc tuturor celor care au venit în sprijinul Federației și am făcut o competiție la cel mai înalt nivel, dar pentru rezultatele de la juniori nu sunt mulțumit absolut deloc. Pentru tineret îi felicit, păcat că am pierdut o medalie de aur acum 10 minute.
Care ar fi mesajul pe care ați vrea să-l transmiteți celor care au participat?
Îi felicit pe toți câștigătorii și toți medaliații și așteptăm și la anul la campionatele europene de seniori, că sunt convins că o mare parte din tineretul de astăzi va fi prezent și anul viitor în cadrul, cum am spus, campionatele europene de seniori.
Cu ce gânduri pentru ediția următoare?
Păi cred că ne odihnim o săptămână și apucăm pregătirea anului următor, că nu avem ce face. Gândurile categorice sunt pozitive. Dacă am reușit în acest moment cu 1300 de persoane, la anul cu 700 nu avem cum să nu reușim.
Nu ne rămâne decât să vă felicităm pentru ceea ce ați făcut și pentru că, iată, ați reușit încă o dată să aduceți acest eveniment de mare anvergură aici la noi în România.
Da, mulțumim și ne-am intrat cu ghilimele de rigoare în mână, să spunem așa, că mai avem și în 2021, din 2022 cu siguranță vom mai primi și alte competiții, după cum au firmat aseară și stafful ICF-ului, Federației Internaționale de Canoe.
O să-l rugăm și pe Claudiu să traducă ca un rezumat la ceea ce a spus domnul președinte Ioan Bârlădeanu.
Yes, I want to thank you to all the people who help our federation to make this happen, and also I want to congratulate our Romanian athletes, the junior and under 23 team, definitely the under 23 team, who bring in our house 3 silver medals, and also we want to thank you, International Canoe and Kayak Federation, that trust us to have this competition in Romania, and we're looking forward for next year European champions in Bascov, in 2021 marathon world champions here in Bascov. Also, we are preparing our senior team for Szeged, Hungary World Champions in August 22nd to 25th, and we are going with our senior team with a very strong for try to qualify as many spots we can for Tokyo Olympics. Thank you, everybody. We want to thank you to all the volunteers that help a lot this week.
Alături de noi, prezent de altfel la fiecare ediție, Helmut Ducadam, care cu siguranță nu are nevoie de niciun fel de prezentare. Helmut, impresii acum la final?
Da, în primul rând vreau să-l felicit pe Ion, prietenul meu, care cred că a reușit o organizare fantastică. Toată lumea cred că a fost mulțumită. Felicit și eu pe sportivii care au câștigat și toți cei care au participat. Mă bucur că am putut să fiu astăzi aici. Sper să fiu și în următoarele ediții prezent, pentru că îmi face o mare plăcere să urmăresc acest eveniment. Cred că evenimente deosebite pentru România și cred că putem să le acordăm chiar o atenție mai mare. Felicitări încă o dată Ion Bârlădeanu, Federației de Caiac Canoe, pentru această organizare extraordinară.
I want to congratulate in special my friend Ioan Bârlădeanu, the președintele Federației Române de Caiac Canoe, for the president of the Canoe and Kayak Federation. I want to congratulate him. It was a pleasure for me to be here for the second time, because I was here in 2017 for first edition of Junior Under 3 World Champions. Romania is a strong country, and together we can make a very good competition in the future.
Mulțumim domnului președinte Ioan Bârlădeanu, mulțumim Helmut Ducadam. Vom fi din nou în transmisiune directă minutele următoare cu o festivitate de premieră. Rămâneți așadar în continuare alături de noi. Mulțumim frumos!
There is a last minute change. K1 U23 men 500 meters from 14 and 33 minutes has been moved to 14 and 9 minutes. Please come.
Acum s-a dus din nou, s-a dus să le ceară și a dat alte rezultate.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de caiac simplu tineret băieți 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for K1 U23 men 500 meters is starting.
Premierea va fi făcută de către domnul Gheorghe Stancu, primarul comunei Bascov, însoțit de conducătorul echipei Germania.
The medal presentation will be presented by Mr. Mayor of Baskov, Stancu Gheorghe, accompanied by the team leader from Germany.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Curtis Imre, Noua Zeelandă.
The bronze medal goes to New Zealand, Curtis Imre.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Rasmus Knudsen, Danemarca.
The silver medal, Denmark, Rasmus Knudsen.
Medalie de aur și campion mondial la această probă, Jacobs Thorsen, Germania.
The gold medal and world champion title, Germany, Jakob Tortzen.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare. Urmează intonarea imnului Germaniei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Germany's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos! Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de caiac simplu, tineret fete 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for K1 U23 women 500 meters is starting.
Premiera va fi făcută de către Simona Brătulescu, vicepreședintă a Consiliului Județean Argeș, însoțită de conducătorul echipei Ungariei.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by Mrs. Brătulescu Simona, Vice President of the Argeș County Council, accompanied by the team leader from Hungary.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Ballet Iversen, Danemarca.
Bronze medal Denmark, Bolette Iversen.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Malgorzata Puławska, Polonia.
Silver medal Poland, Malgorzata Puławska.
Medalie de aur și câștigătoare, campioană mondială la această probă, Naomi Pap, Ungaria.
The gold medal and the title of world champion, Hungary, Noemi Pap.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare. Urmează intonarea imnului Ungariei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hungary's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de caiac simplu junioare fete 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for K1 Junior Women 500 meters is starting. Lasă-mi-le așa ca să le văd.
Premierea va fi făcută de către Simon Tulson, secretar general al Federației Internaționale de Canoe, însoțit de conducătorul echipei Ungariei.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by Mr. Simon Tulson, General Secretary of the International Canoe Federation, accompanied by the team leader from Hungary.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Carla Frieiro, Spania.
The bronze medal goes to Spain, Carla Freiro.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Veronica Leaniuca, Belarus.
The silver medal goes to Belarus, Veronica Leaniuk.
Medalie de aur și campioană mondială la această probă, Emze Kohalmi, Ungaria.
The gold medal and the title of world champion, Hungary, Emeze Kohalmi.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare, urmează intonarea imnului Ungariei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hungary's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you. We want to thank Mr. Simon Tolson, General Secretary of the International Canoe Federation, for being here for the first time in Romania.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de caiac 4, tineret băieți 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for K4 U23 men 500 meters is starting.
Premierea va fi făcută de către Jens Kall, membru al Comitetului Competițional ICF, însoțit de conducătorul echipei Australiei.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by Mr. Jens Kall, Chief Official and member of the Committee Competitional of the International Canoe Federation, accompanied by the team leader from Australia.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Cornel Beche, Victor Nemetz, Adam Varga și Matias Colezar, Ungaria.
The bronze medal, Hungary, Cornel Beche, Victor Nemet, Adam Varga, Matias Colezar.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Rasmus Knudsen, Simon Schuld Jensen, Rasmus Alsabeca și Victor Asmul, Danemarca.
The silver medal, Denmark, Rasmus Knudsen, Simon Schult Jensen, Rasmus Albaek, Victor Asmul.
Medalie de aur și campioni mondiali la această probă, Riley Fitzsimmons, Thomas Green, Jackson Collins și Jean van der Vutzen, Australia.
The gold medal and the title of world champions Australia, Riley Fitzsimmons, Thomas Green, Jackson Collins, Jan van der Vutzen.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare. Urmează intonarea imnului Australiei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Australia's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you. Hungary's team, please come for the medal ceremony. Hungary's team, please come for the medal ceremony. Hungary's team, please come for the medal ceremony. Da. Andras Redl, Hungary's team, please come for the medal ceremony.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de caiac simplu junior băieți 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for K1 Junior Men 500 meters is starting.
Premierea va fi făcută de către Ahmad Doniamali, membru board ICF.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by the president, by Mr. Ahmad Doniamali, member of board ICF.
Însoțit de conducătorul echipei Ungariei.
Accompanied by the team leader from Hungary.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Thomas Sobisek, Cehia.
The bronze medal, Czech Republic, Thomas Sobisek.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Laurent Lavin, Canada.
The silver medal, Canada, Laurent Lavin.
Medalie de aur și campion mondial la această probă, Andras Redl, Ungaria.
The gold medal and the title of world champion Hungary, Andras Redl.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare. Urmează intonarea imnului Ungariei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hungary's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de canoe dublu, tineret băieți 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for C2 U23 men 500 meters is starting.
Premierea va fi făcută de către domnul Ioan Bârlădeanu, președintele Federației Române de Caiac Canoe, însoțit de conducătorul echipei Poloniei.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by Mr. Bârlădeanu Ioan, the president of the Romanian Canoe Federation, accompanied by the team leader from Poland.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Andrei Sakarena și Seri Nahori, Ucraina.
The bronze medal, Ukraine, Andrei Sakarena, Serhii Nahori.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Leonid Carp și Ștefan Strat, România!
The silver medal, Romania,
campioni mondiali la această probă, Alexandru Chitsevski și Norman Zezula, Polonia.
The gold medal, the title of world champions, Poland, Alexander Kitseski, Norman Zezula.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare. Urmează intonarea imnului Poloniei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Poland's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
Thank you. The team leader from Hungary, please come to the medal ceremony.
Doamnelor și domnilor, urmează festivitatea de premiere a câștigătorilor probei de caiac dublu tineret fete 500 de metri.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation ceremony for K2 U23 women 500 meters is starting.
Premierea va fi făcută de către Tomas Konietzko, vicepreședinte al Federației Internaționale de Canoe, însoțit de conducătorul echipei Ungariei.
The rewarding ceremony will be presented by the Vice President of the International Canoe Federation, Mr. Tomas Konietzko, accompanied by the team leader from Hungary.
Locul 3 și medalie de bronz, Elisaveta Vilcova și Uladislava Skrihanava, Belarus.
The bronze medal, Belarus, Lisaveta Vilkova, Uladislava Shrikana.
Locul 2 și medalie de argint, Aida Bauza și Laia Pelac, Spania.
The silver medal, Spain, Aida Bauza, Laia Pela.
Medalie de aur și campioane mondiale la această probă, Karina Biben și Olga Bako, Ungaria.
The gold medal and the title of world champions, Hungary, Karina Biben, Olga Bako.
Doamnelor și domnilor, vă rugăm să vă ridicați în picioare, urmează intonarea imnului Ungariei.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Hungary's national anthem.
Mulțumim frumos!
One.
Stimați spectatori, urmează o mică ceremonie de premiere prin care se acordă cele mai bune țări bine clasate din partea ICF-ului. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're starting a small ceremony to according a prize from the best performing nation. So, the best performing nation is Hungary with 21 gold medals. The reward is according by the Mr. Tomasz Koniecko, the Vice President of the ICF. Thank you and congratulations. Preluați acum, domnul.
Urmează, doamnelor, domnișoarelor și domnilor, festivitatea de închidere a campionatelor mondiale de junior și tineret. Festivitatea va fi făcută de către Thomas Konietzko, vicepreședintele Federației Internaționale de Canoe, împreună cu domnul Ioan Bârlădeanu, președintele Federației Române de Kayak Canoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the closing ceremony for the World Canoe Sprint Championship is starting. It will be presented by the Vice President of the International Canoe Federation, Mr. Thomas Konietzko, and the President of the Romanian Canoe Federation, Mr. Bârlădeanu Ion.
Dear friends, time is coming to say now goodbye, goodbye from a beautiful venue, goodbye from a very well organized competition. Some of the athletes will take away home medals, but I think all the participants here will take away home a lot of good memories from this competition. Thanks to the Romanian Canoe Federation, thanks to all the supporters, sponsors, volunteers to organize such a great competition.
Doamnelor și domnilor, a venit momentul să ne luăm rămas bun de la această minunată locație care este pista de caiac Canoe Bascov-Budeasa și încă o dată sportivii care pleacă cu gânduri frumoase, mai ales și cei care au câștigat foarte multe medalii, chiar dacă nu toate de aur.
And we all will keep this competition, this great competition, in good memories. And now, it's really time to say goodbye. Hereby, I declare the 2019 Junior and Under 23 World Championship closed.
Vom pleca de aici cu gânduri și amintiri foarte frumoase și acum chiar a venit momentul ca să spunem la revedere și cele bune. Un ultim moment, predarea drapelului Federației Internaționale de Caiac Canoe către cei care vor organiza anul viitor această competiție. Sunt domnii din Germania, din orașul Brandenburg, yes? Thank you.
So, as Short said, we have now the honor to hand over the flag to the organizers of the next year's Junior and Under 23 World Championship, to the city of Brandenburg, Germany. Good luck to the Brandenburg organizers and see you all next year in Brandenburg. Thank you for your attention.